I would like to talk about in this video why AI inevitability is BS and how bad technologies and bad science, such as that coming from a lot of the AI that's being rolled out right now, how that could be halted and reversed. And there's examples from history that really clearly show us that this can be the case. We're bombarded by this phrase, AI inevitability, in the news. It's everywhere. And the news stations are just sucking it up from the AI companies. It doesn't matter whatever your opinion is, whether you find the technology to be morally questionable or a lot of the technology to be morally questionable. We're told again and again, it's here to stay, adapt or die, the genie's out of the bottle. So even when people, they don't like what's going on and they heavily question it, they might believe in these phrases without question. But these phrases are not true. I emphatically believe they are not true. If anybody was to tell you, do or die, adapt or die, in any other context outside of this stuff with AI, we would think of that as bullying. That's bullying behavior. What these companies are really telling us is, do as I say or die, or else there are consequences. And this is actually a very psychopathic stance to take. A lot of these AI companies, what they're doing is that they're pushing as far to get as much as they want, and only when it serves their own agenda are they going to listen to the public, but they're going to prioritize their own wins and put our needs last. In any other context, say like if there's a school and there's one kid saying, do as I say or die, what we do is that we put that kid in their place. We set boundaries. There's a lot of good that comes out of tech world, but there's also a sinister side. And that sinister side abides by this motto, move fast and break things. And this is clearly how a lot of these AI companies are behaving. And AI inevitability is really a cover for this phrase, move fast and break things, but with a neutral sounding, objective sounding kind of tone. In any other context, if there's a bully going around saying, I'm gonna move fast and break things, we would try to set that person to their place. We would set boundaries. But somehow in the context of these sorts of companies, somehow it's a virtue. It's a virtue to move fast and break things, even if those things are us, the rest of us, the rest of society. It doesn't matter. And they're only interested in helping us only so much as it serves their agenda. And I think that is such a crazy thing. This is techno-fascism. And the reality is we have the choice to be able to put them in their place. Because what we're doing right now by just following along with this idea of it's here to stay, adapt or die, etc., we're just appeasing these companies. They're actually made up a small group of people. The leaders of these companies are really a small group of people. And by saying these phrases, what they're hoping to do is that we will sleepwalk into handing the reins of power to them when there's so much more of us. I'm not against technology being developed, but everyone needs to be part of this conversation, not these AI companies just driving the whole entire ship and bringing us along with it. They actually, in reality, have less power than us. Now, the whole entire great irony, which is actually kind of hilarious, of these AI companies telling us about AI inevitability is that they're basically saying, you better invest in what we're making. You better do what we're doing. You better use the tools that we're creating. Because if you don't, you'll die. You won't keep up. But the funny thing about it is that there's a lot of research into AI and how it's being developed right now. Again, I'm not against AI. I'm against how it's being rolled out in the reckless fashion that's being made right now. That this is leading to the destabilization of society. It's not going to take AGI. It's going to take the current technology that is being developed by AI, that's already developed by AI, that's enough to be destabilizing of society. So really, these AI companies are putting our existence into risk. They're not actually saving us from anything. And the reality is that they're not abiding by free market capitalism. This is not free market capitalism at all, because that involves people who are consumers and they're freely choosing, making choices of what is best for them. But AI companies are not doing that. They're abiding by techno-fascism. They want to scare you into using their product. They want you to think there's no other choice. I think that this whole idea of move fast and break things and AI inevitability, which is really just a cover for that, is just a dumb cultural idea of a select group of people. And what is better is that if we could really realize our own voice in a process, and these AI companies, they seem to be going down one path on a train, right? But I bet if the public could say no to the way that they're rolling this technology out, or take the wheels off of the train, it won't go anywhere without the support of the public. But we have to not sleepwalk along the way. So yes, technology keeps growing, but what gets developed by technology, how it's developed, how it's implemented into society, that is up to us. It's not up to those companies to decide. It's up to us to decide. I'll give you 3 examples from history about how there have been bad science, bad technology, and the public has the power to be able to determine the course of the technology and science. So number 1, cars. So cars right now, how they're being developed, they weren't always safe, but they now have to abide by high standards of safety. And right now, I can feel confident with the next car that's going to be developed. In fact, I'll be excited about new technologies when it comes to cars, because I know that they will abide by strict standards of safety. And the thing is, the public really fought for cars to be safe. That's what happened to make the changes in the law. As long as this technology develops when it comes to cars, I could have a peace of mind, and people in general could have a peace of mind about the development of cars. So let's have the same peace of mind about AI. We don't want to wonder if the next piece of technology with AI is going to be absolutely destructive. We don't think about that when it comes to cars, right? So next one is World War II experiments on humans. So after World War II and those horrific, gruesome experiments on human beings, there's ethical rules that are encoded into law about how scientific experiments can be run that respect human dignity, human welfare, and also our consent to and mitigation of risk. So AI right now is running, the companies are running this experiment on us. We're all treated like guinea pigs. Should we be able to put up with that? And it's risky, it's destabilizing of society. And these ethics are encoded even for research that is not harming the physical safety of humans. Even when it comes to psychology research, we must earn the consent of the research subjects involved. Otherwise, we see that as against human dignity. And we must have that same attitude when it comes to these AI experiments, that this is not something that we've consented to. The things that the AI companies have done to artists, that's not what they have consented to. We have advanced so that when it comes to experimenting on humans, that we would respect human dignity, consent, and also human welfare. But for some reason, when it comes to this AI stuff, this AI revolution, we're not doing that. So this is actually a step backward to a more primitive mindset, a more primitive approach that does not mitigate risk or respect human beings. Finally, technology could be put on hold without having to wait for destruction to hit first. Let's take a look at human cloning. Human cloning, that technology exists. We can make it so that it's accessible to the public and we can distribute it everywhere, right? But we've decided that it's not worth the ramifications of that. So maybe there are some human clones out there, but there would be a whole lot more if we just made that easily distributable to the public. So AI is making clones of us in another way. It's making clones of our identity and also of our work, and making this process very, very easy to abuse by people. The question is, are we going to allow for this? Are we going to allow for any of this?